All right, we're here with a brief update on the McCloskeys. Now, if you don't remember the McCloskeys, it's this charming couple in the image next to me with his and hers firearms pulled out on their own lawn. They were actually charged for the activities that you see in this picture, but that case has been going on for a while. What we've got is an update in the case, and we're going to talk about that mostly today, but I am going to give you an overview of the case because I am Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer, but I'm also a legal and political commentator here on YouTube. If you like that stuff, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Don't miss any videos so you can always stay up on what's going on in the legal world, right? Okay, so the McCloskeys here. The McCloskeys are charged for brandishing these weapons, and they're also charged with tampering with evidence. What are the two charges related to? Well, they're related to what I'm calling the 2020 Summer of Love. That was a love that was spread by lockdowns and by race-related protests in regards to officer-involved violence across the nation, mostly stemming from my home state of Minnesota, where Derek Chauvin was involved with the death of George Floyd. He is on trial for that right now. That kind of kicked everything off, and then there were some other incidents of police-related violence that sort of fanned the flames, and these protests spread to every major metropolitan area that I'm aware of. They happen in some places. They were a little more violent than others, but lots of property damage across the country and even some loss of life related to those protests. It was not really a good summer. 2020 was a bad look. Okay, America, we need to maybe not have that so much. But that being said, in their particular case in St. Louis, Missouri, some protesters had entered their gated community. Now, once they enter that gated community, all of the walkways and all of the roadways and everything is owned by the community. And if they don't have permission to be there, they are technically potentially trespassing. So they are onto this private property. Now, the McCloskeys exited their residence, which looks like a museum. I commend them for having such a giant, beautiful home. But that being said, they exited their giant museum-like home and stood on their property. And I don't want to say they confronted the crowd because they were standing on their property, warning people to stay off, to stay back. They alleged that they were in fear for their lives and in fear for their property and that they were properly defending it. Now, so they are charged with unlawful use of firearms because the prosecutor here, Kim Gardner, said that they were doing this unlawfully. We're going to talk about Kim Gardner and we're going to talk about that charge in a minute. But that is the unlawful use of firearms charge. The other charge, the evidence tampering, relates to the handgun held by Patricia McCloskey there. That handgun, at the time this photo was taken, the McCloskeys allege this handgun was disabled. They are lawyers, and they said that it was used in a demonstration in a courtroom. So it was disabled, so it could not be fired. It was not operable. And that's part of their argument, I believe, that it's not a firearm. But that being said, it's alleged to be inoperable. The police, or the prosecutor, I guess, has charged them with evidence tampering, suggesting that it was operable. They rendered it inoperable. Now, a big controversial aspect of this case was that the prosecutor's office requested that the police reassemble this firearm to make it operable in the evidence room. To me, that sounds like evidence tampering, but hey, I'm old-fashioned that way. I'm still on that whole innocent until proven guilty thing for basically everybody. But that being said, that is the genesis of those two charges. So I wanted to make sure people were aware of that. Now, the big news in this is that Kim Gardner, this prosecutor who is also pictured next to me, is no longer on the case. So this article is from KMOV4. It'll be linked down in the description below if you want to read it yourself, but we're going to hit the main points. Missouri Supreme Court on Tuesday denied St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's request to be allowed to prosecute a St. Louis couple who waved guns at racial injustice demonstrators last summer. And again, those racial injustice demonstrators were on private property and potentially encroaching upon the McCloskey's property and potentially putting them in fear for their safety and the safety of their possessions. So this ruling means that U.S. Attorney Richard Callahan, who is appointed special prosecutor, will oversee the case. Kim Gardner is gone. Now, the reason she's gone is most likely because this is an entirely politically motivated prosecution. These charges maybe shouldn't have even been brought. And to compound that, she used those charges in her re-election materials. She used them positively in her election advertisement saying, I'm tough on crime. I'm for racial justice. I'm prosecuting the McCloskeys, overlooking the fact that that's an ongoing prosecution and they are entitled to the presumption of innocence. And having a politician, a political figure, admit to using their case to further their political career is kind of improper. So she was tossed from the case by the district court judge. It went all the way up to the Missouri Supreme Court, and they said, yeah, go away. There's someone else who can do the case. You don't need to do the case. Get off the case. Why would you say that? That was dumb. They didn't say any of this. They actually didn't say very much about it at all. They just upheld the decision, and she is gone. So very, very important, very, very big news. Maybe it'll lead to a fairer trial against these people, as the former U.S. Attorney Richard Callahan has not indicated that he is currently using this case to further his own political career. That may still be true, but at least he hasn't said it, right? That's got some value. But importantly, the McCloskeys gained national praise from conservatives after they were arrested. Missouri Governor Mike Parson has said he will pardon them if they are convicted. And this is, of course, going back to the central ideas of self-defense, meaningful self-defense, and meaningful protections for people who allege self-defense. To me, this situation was actually kind of an ideal one. No one got shot. No one got hit, beaten, or stabbed in relation to this event. Some people's feelings might have been hurt. Some people might have been upset that while they were on private property, someone pointed a gun at them. But some of us still believe in this concept that when you're in your home or at your home, you have a right to defend that home, and you have the right to exclude people from that property entirely, and that right should be very, very close to absolute, as close as it gets, because that is your sanctuary, that is your place, and that is the one place above all others that is valued as you should be safe and secure. In fact, we have an entire amendment about it. People are to be safe and secure in their persons, their property, and their possessions. So at your home, you should be able to rest easy. And these protesters definitely made people uneasy, and they definitely destroyed property, and they definitely were a threatening presence. So we can question the individual actions of the McCloskeys here and there, but by and large, I don't think this is a prosecutable offense because these people didn't end up shooting anybody or shooting at anybody or anything like that, and nobody got injured or dead. And those are the type of self-defense situations that I actually like to see because there's way less questions. But this to me looks entirely political. You know, guns bad and racial justice good, so therefore prosecute white people with guns is how this kind of looked. I'm not saying that's how every prosecution is, but this one kind of looks that way. And Kim Gardner, again, using it on her own quote-unquote political resume to try and get reelected lends some credence to that sort of theory. But what do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comments. I would love to hear it. If you like this video, hit the like button and go ahead and share it out. Let people know what's going on in this case. And I will talk to you next time. Peace. Peace.